What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and a lot of overnight breaking news to get you caught up on in Congress. We're going to be talking about stimulus reconciliation, Build Back Better, voting rights, potential war, and a 2-hour-long speech that President Joe Biden gave yesterday covering a lot of information. This is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now, first up, you guys, yesterday, the Senate held that vote on the voting rights legislation, and take a look. Senate votes down the filibuster change as Manchin and Sinema side with Republicans. So that did not pass. I'm going to give you all the details in this video. And also, as I mentioned, President Joe Biden gave a speech, and take a look at this, you guys. Biden says that he's not sure that he's going to be able to renew the monthly checks to parents in his big bill. In other words, Build Back Better, as I've shared with you in my previous videos, we've heard they're going to be pulling it apart, and one of the things that might not make it in is the expansion of the child tax credit. It looks like Joe Manchin is going to have that removed, as we're also seeing headlines like this. Take a look, you guys. Build Back Better hits a wall, but climate action could move forward. Some Democrats want to forge ahead with a standalone climate bill, but their solution could mean abandoning other parts of President Biden's agenda, and that is that child tax credit. So you guys, I've got a lot of video footage. I'm going to dive into these articles, get you all the details. This all has been unfolding overnight. Now, we're going to dive right in. Also wanted to mention that the new video on the second channel is going to be launching, and if you missed out on big opportunities like, say, to invest in Amazon, maybe in real estate back during the crash, or get involved in cryptocurrency just a couple years ago, well, there's a new opportunity coming out, and this is a chance for you to get in early, and it is investing in the metaverse. And I'm going to be releasing a new video here very soon covering all the different ways, if you're interested, on how to get in early in investing in the metaverse, you guys. So keep an eye out for that. If you're interested, I'll pin a comment down below on that new channel, Steve Ram Finance. You can click it, go subscribe. Keep an eye out. Going to be releasing that here very soon. But you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. And let's start off first by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second, really helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to stay up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with some video footage that's going to be covering everything that has happened overnight.
It's day 365 of the Biden administration. Just moments ago, an attempt by Democrats to change filibuster rules to pass voting rights legislation failed in the United States Senate. Both Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema joined all 50 Republicans to block the move, and we will have much more on that in just a moment. But first, with the president's first year in office at an end, he heads into year two, highlighting his successes with an eye toward turning his outstanding goals into successes. This afternoon, Joe Biden held his second solo news conference of his presidency in the East Room of the White House, taking questions from reporters for nearly 2 hours. He defended his handling of the pandemic and the economy while acknowledging the stalemate that some of his top priorities, and offering a warning about Russian President Putin's next moves.
It's been a year of challenges, but it's also been a year of enormous progress. We went from 2 million people being vaccinated at the moment I was sworn in to 210 million Americans being fully vaccinated today. We created 6 million new jobs. For all this progress, I know there's a lot of frustration and fatigue in this country.
Did you overpromise to the American public what you could achieve in your first year in office?
I didn't overpromise, but I have probably outperformed what anybody thought would happen. I did not anticipate that there'd be such a stalwart effort to make sure that the most important thing was that President Biden didn't get anything done.
Is there anything that you are confident you can get signed into law before the midterm elections?
Yes, I'm confident we can get pieces, big chunks of the Build Back Better law signed into law.
Can you now lay out your strategy to protect voting rights?
Well, I'm not prepared to do that in detail in terms of the executive orders I may be able to engage in and other things I can do. We have begun to organize in ways that we didn't before, the communities beyond the civil rights community.
When you were in Geneva in June, you said to us about President Putin, I think the last thing he wants now is a Cold War. Now, since then, of course, you've seen him gather these troops, 100,000 troops around Ukraine.
I think he still does not want any full-blown war, number one. Number two, Do I think he'll test the West, test the United States and NATO as significantly as he can? Yes, I think he will.
So there you have it, you guys. A lot unfolding. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about first the voting rights legislation that failed. Then we're going to be jumping to stimulus and Build Back Better here in just a second. So first up, a link in the description below to this article that came out late last night that says Senate votes down filibuster change as Manchin and Sinema side with Republicans. Now, the article says an effort by Senate Democrats to change the filibuster rule was knocked down as expected on Wednesday night in a tense floor vote that saw two Democratic moderates side with all 50 Republicans, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tried for the nuclear option to change the long-standing rule after the GOP used a filibuster to block sweeping voting rights legislation pushed by the Democrats, but the measure failed 52-48 as we saw. And you guys, it says Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona voted with Republicans against the talking filibuster change, which would have effectively let Democrats wait out the GOP filibuster and pass the voting legislation with a simple majority vote. Now, the current rule requires 60 votes to end the filibuster, a figure that was out of reach for Democrats in an evenly split Senate amid staunch Republican opposition to the voting legislation. So you guys, that did not go through. Things are going to be remaining the same with the rules in the Senate for passing legislation. Now let's discuss Build Back Better and stimulus reconciliation, as now Congress is going to be turning their attention back towards stimulus. However, we're seeing articles coming out like this: Build Back Better hit a wall, but climate action could move forward. Now, jumping down in the article, it says, faced with the possibility of Democrats losing control of Congress in November's midterm elections. And that's right, you guys, that is driving the push, is that in November, we're going to be having midterm elections, and Democrats, who currently are in full control of Congress, the Senate, the House, and the presidency, are concerned that they're going to be losing control because they're not getting a whole lot done right now because they can't agree amongst themselves. They're saying, let's just get something passed, because if we don't, chances are the American people are going to vote Republicans back into power in Congress, and we are going to lose our control. So they're saying, let's find something that we can agree upon and pass it. Now, it says the party is now looking to salvage what it can from the $2.2 trillion Build Back Better Act. So as we've heard, they're trying to take pieces, whatever they can agree upon, and pass it through with Build Back Better. Now, the sweeping climate change and social policy bill passed the House, but came to a halt last month when Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, that Democrat, the swing vote in the Senate, said he opposed it. And that was because he was concerned about debt and inflation and adding more so to our economy, that he says we really don't need to do this at this time. However, Mr. Manchin has suggested that he might back various climate provisions in the legislation, leading some Democrats to say that the party should regroup around a climate bill, taking out various provisions and focus on climate. Now, you guys, take a look at this. Business Insider says that Biden yesterday in those interviews said that he's not sure that he's going to be able to renew the monthly checks to parents in his big bill. So one of the provisions that's likely going to be cut here is the expansion of the child tax credit. Now, as you know, the child tax credit existed before the expansion at $2,000 that you would get back on your taxes per child. Well, now it was expanded to $3,000 for kids 6 to 17 and $3,600 for kids under the age of 5, and they gave it in advance in monthly payments. Well, that, it looks like, might not be continuing. It will revert back to $2,000. Now, the article says President Joe Biden conceded on Wednesday that the expanded child tax credit may not survive the negotiations around his $2 trillion Build Back Better bill. There's two really big components that I feel strongly about that I'm not sure I can get in the package, Biden said in the news conference on Wednesday. One is the child tax credit, and the other is to help for the cost of community college. He added that both are massive things that he's campaigned on and would attempt to get them in the event both are dropped. So, as we've heard before as well, that whatever doesn't make it into Build Back Better, President Joe Biden is saying there will be more stimulus reconciliation bills to come, and he's still going to be pushing to get those in. Now, a lot of people say, well, if you can't get it in now, what makes you think you're going to get it in later? Well, we will see, you guys. I will keep you up to date. But Biden's comments amount to a remarkable admission that he may fail to renew the program, forming the center of his party's anti-poverty agenda. The child tax credit was expanded for a year under the stimulus law, which widened its reach to families who don't pay taxes for the first time and boosted its amount to $3,000 per kid and $3,600 to each kid ages 5 and under. And there's another part of that as well, and that is that it was available to anybody with children. Joe Manchin also, I reported to you yesterday, said he wants to make sure that this child tax credit benefit is only going to be going out to those that are currently actively working. So that's another modification included in that. And at this time, we're not even sure if this expanded child tax credit is going to make it in. But whatever unfolds, you guys, I will be sure to keep you up to date. But a lot of big changes happening overnight. So you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me. And as more information rolls out, like I said, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button for the algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to come join the Ram fam to stay up to date, totally free. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM. Best way to get a hold of me directly. Here on YouTube, use caution because in the comments we have scammers that try to pose as me. They take my picture, they claim they're Steve Ram, and they say, contact me on WhatsApp, send me your personal information, wire me money. You guys, that's not me, so use caution. And consider joining that second channel as well, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance. New video coming out in investing in the metaverse, getting in early. And you guys, with that being said, I hope that this reaches you well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.